Welcome to the Evolve Beyond Limits podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Geisel. This podcast is dedicated to helping you create a life that sets your soul on fire. I believe that is truly possible for everybody, but you have to be willing to do a few things. You have to be willing to let go of your past conditioning. You have to be willing to break free from societal norms. And you have to be willing to get really curious about your life and how you can start to look at it differently. Each week, we will hear stories from people who have done exactly this. People who chose to disrupt the life path they were on, go against the grain, and share the lessons and perspective shifts they had to make along the way. Every episode is committed to not only inspiring you and connecting you with other amazing humans, but actually giving you the tools you need to use this information in your own life so that you continue to evolve and reconnect with your highest self. Are you ready? Let's have some fun. Welcome back to the Evolve Beyond Limits podcast. This is Stacy, your host, and I am excited to talk to you this week about tapping into your intuition part 2. So last week, we talked all about the first 2 clairs, right? And so if you missed last week, go ahead, take a listen, make sure you go back because it gives a little bit of background about why our intuition is so important, why a lot of us aren't tapping into it, and all that good stuff. So last week we talked about clairsentience and claircognizance, right? And so this week we're going to talk about the other 2 clairs that normally for most people take a little bit more time to develop because our ego can get in the way of these ones. So we have to start small by starting with those 2 that we talked about last week. Not that they're small, but starting there so that we can then start to trust ourselves more to develop the next 2 that I'm going to talk about. And some people just, again, you're going to hear some of this and you're probably like, oh, I totally have that. I resonate with that. And if that's the case, these are just more things that you can start to tune into and know that that's not just, it's not nothing. It's actually your intuition guiding you. Okay. So let's dive right in. We're going to talk about the first one is clairaudience. So when you think about this, think about hearing. Now, people with clairaudience, a lot of times this actually develops from claircognizance. So people who have that I just know feeling, a lot of times the next step is this clairaudience. So people who are clairaudient, they tend to be super drawn to music and song lyrics. Like I joke all the time that I'm pretty sure that there was a song lyric that saved our marriage at one moment. And it's because I was looking for a sign and I didn't know what this was at the time, but I was looking for a sign that I needed some guidance somewhere. And I heard it in a song lyric and it was like literally the perfect thing in the perfect situation. So if song lyrics really speak to you, then clairaudience could be a way that your intuition comes through. Other things is that sometimes people are really sensitive to sound. So sensitive to really like loud music, door slamming, they're kind of jumpy. That can also be a sign that you have some clairaudience. A lot of coaches and teachers and authors tend to be clairaudient. So, and here's the thing that when we talk about clairaudience, it's like when we think about hearing, it's like a small voice inside your head is guiding you. Now, when I say that, this is not like schizophrenia or something like that. This is simply that this small voice is guiding you. And a misinterpretation is like, let's say that you're really connected to Christianity and Jesus, right? Like it's not going to be Jesus's voice that comes to you. It's going to be your own voice, but it's like a calm and steady version of your own voice. Because remember, our intuition is our inner wisdom that's coming through. Okay. So they also tend to be really short messages that are straight to the point. So they're going to come really fast. They're going to go really fast, but you're not going to get like a paragraph answer from this. So just keep that in mind. And this is why this takes time to develop, is because you're going to have this feeling of, I'm just making this up, right? And that's like your ego coming in, trying to convince you that this is not a safe thing to listen to. And so we want to be sure that we're taking the time to trust it. So again, start small, start with the little things that you're feeling drawn to do or little messages that you hear. And then once you start to do that, the dots start to connect a little bit more and you start to hear and just notice a lot more things and a lot more ways that you might be guided. So then the last one that I want to talk about is clairvoyance. So think about sight or your eyes. Now, when I say that, a lot of times people think they automatically go to psychic that can see the future and all of that. And while that is a form of clairvoyance, that is not probably the way that it comes through for most people. But if you are somebody who is really drawn to art, design, or color, you might see flashes of light when you're in your meditations. There are some people out there who actually see colors around people. And that might be different colors. It might in the beginning only be white. Like that can all be different things that are saying that it's a clairvoyance. It's another way that intuition comes through. Other things, if you're really connected to seeing like angel numbers or symbols, or you see a lot of animals in meditation, then this can be another sign. Now, everybody thinks that this is like really cool, which it is, but as being somebody who has developed some of her clairvoyance, and I see a lot of like when animals pop up, there's a lot of interpretation that has to go through clairvoyance. So you have to figure out what the symbol that came through actually means for you. So there's a little bit more like digging in and investigation that sometimes needs to come with this, but it is really fun. So visionaries or people who have like a really easy time visualizing things, that's usually a sign that you have some clairvoyance. And again, this is like, it comes through similar to like what a memory would. So it's like this vision in the front of the brain, if that makes sense. And again, this is usually one of the last ones to develop because the ego comes in really easily and you have to develop a lot of trust in your intuition first. So as you're working through this, and now we just heard all 4 of these clairs, there is only one way that you can truly start to tap into your intuition. And you're going to have to practice it and practice it and practice it. And that's through meditation. It's through stillness. Like I learned this from one of my mentors, Haley Cole, who has been on the show, and there's no other way, right? Like the longer that you can sit in stillness, the longer that you can meditate, the more connected you're going to be to your inner wisdom. But if you never take the time to slow down, then it doesn't have an opportunity to come through, or you're just not going to have the opportunity to notice it. So make sure that you're giving yourself that time. And then with the practice comes then the trust, and then the taking action based on what your intuition is telling you and proving yourself right over and over and over again. That's what's going to develop that trust in yourself, in your intuition, in your inner wisdom, that it's always guiding you to it. Intuition isn't something to be feared, because our intuition is either going to guide us to exactly where we want to be, or it's going to guide us directly into a lesson that we need to learn before we can get to where we want to be. So there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. It's just leading us to where we need to go next, whether that be to this beautiful destination or to this lesson that's also a beautiful destination, because it allows us to move through it to get closer to where we're supposed to be, to our purpose, to why we're here, to all the things. So I would love to hear which one of these resonates the most. After you heard about the 4 clairs, what are the things, spend this week really paying attention. What's popping up for you? Which one of these really hits you in the gut? Because like there's usually whenever I talk about this with the women in EBLA or whoever I'm working with, there's one or two that are really, really prevalent in their lives, and they just didn't realize that they were being guided by their inner wisdom in this way. So that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention. And I want you to experiment with it, practice with it, and know that it might not, like whenever I do meditations, and if anybody wants to, I can send you some guided meditations to get started to kind of hone in a little bit on that intuition. It gives you a little bit of a starting point. Just shoot me a text at 248-206-3431 or just DM me on Instagram. And we actually have an entire challenge that we could take you through so that you can start to develop this intuition. But I one time was working with somebody who all through EBLA, we did these different guided meditations and never once did anything kind of pop up for her. She didn't like hear anything. She didn't see anything, none of that. And that is 1000% okay, because the longer we're disconnected from this, and the less tuned in we are, the longer it's going to take for us to get it back. And that's okay. You're not broken, but she kept trying. She stuck with it. She kept doing it. And I'll never forget, we were doing a full moon ceremony a few months later, and we did a guided meditation together. And it was in that moment we got done, and she was so excited because she just like told me, she was like, Stacey, like, she told the whole group, like, I finally heard something. And it was like so obvious and so clear. So I'm telling you that because as long as you don't give up on this and you keep trying, your intuition will start to come back. It will start to become more prevalent, but you have to give it the time. And for some people that might be a day, for some people that might be weeks, and for other people that could be, months and years. So, but you do have to stay committed to practicing and committed to the stillness, committed to the meditations if you want to start to become more in tune with your intuition. So that is what I have for you this week. I'm excited because next week we're going to start diving into the different energy centers, the different chakras, why they're so important, and how to know the difference between, are they blocked? Are they imbalanced? What are we kind of looking for? Why is this important to begin with? So I look forward to seeing you next week. And don't forget that if you want to really start to connect with that subconscious, see what it is that's getting in your way and how you can start to move through that, then you want to make sure that you sign up for the wait list for a white light session. I'd love to connect with you in that way. These sessions are so eye-opening and impactful for every single person that I've ever done one on. And so I can't wait to connect with you in that way. I'm sending you so much love and light. And until next time, keep evolving.